I'm Russell Allen from Aubrey Allen. We're a Coventry business, have been since 1933. We provide great restaurants with British produce, primarily beef, but also wonderful lamb from Cornwall, free-range pork and poultry.
I would say in terms of our energy consumption, we were very focused just on how much it was costing us per kilowatt hour when we were doing our contracts. When we tried to look at how we can save energy, it was very things about lights being automatic when you left a room. And then the focus shifts and it said, okay, we've done as much as we can to stop using more power than we need to. So now what we can do in terms of the engine we are using, how can we make it better on the environment?
Aubrey Allen approaches sustainability very much in a holistic view. It's making sure that all of our staff understand the reasons why. We also have a War on Waste, which is an initiative we introduced where we develop teams across departments to look at how we can reduce things like wastage on electricity and also wastage on unnecessary packaging. And once we introduce that across the board, it then becomes everyone's responsibility, not just us running the company's responsibility.
We're all still trying to find out the best thing to do for the environment. And I would say we learnt that no one else was going to do it for us. We just had to go and try and find out the best way to do it ourselves that's kinder in the environment. Plus, we had Her late Majesty's Royal Warrant. We knew that when King Charles was on the throne that that sustainability side would need to be much better than we were doing. So that was one of the key drivers as well. But I think in terms of for us as our brand, as trying to be the best that we can be and that quality for our whole supply chain, just showing that you can make these changes and it is going to be trial and error. However, you can do really positive things for the business as well as the world.
People say, why have you moved to solar energy? Well, for one thing, although the sun doesn't shine an awful lot in this country, it is free, and that's tremendously attractive to a company, any company really. When we look at how we quantify the savings since we've fitted the solar panels, in 18 months it saved us £90,000, which is considerable considering that we, at Aubrey Allen's as meat wholesalers work on fairly slim margins. It's made a great contribution to our bottom line. When you make any change in business, people in the organisation often have some reservations, but the whole process from start to finish was very straightforward. Didn't really impact on our business very much. I mean, we lost some car parking space to building and to assembling and fitting the solar panels, but aside from that, it was fairly seamless from start to finish.
As soon as the panels were here, the guys were on site, the scaffolding was up, the repairs and everything we had to do to the roof was done, everything was really easy. The panels just went on. The hard work, I think, was just logistically working out how we got the panels here and how we then made sure that we had enough car parking spaces and making sure that everyone had enough sausage and bacon batches for the morning. So there was an added bonus of having the solar panels put on the roof. We've got lots of fridges and they are generating their power. And what happens is with a fridge, behind a fridge, you're going to generate heat. That heat went into our roof void, which meant in the height of summer when the fridges were working really hard, everyone put their aircon on because they were particularly warm. And the heat in that roof void was getting really high. By putting the solar panels across the skylights that were in the roof, it was a lovely consequence. It reduced the temperature in that area, which is great from a risk assessment side of all the equipment that's in there and how hot it was getting.
Going forward, I just think that we continue to make savings. Electricity is only going one way in terms of pricing, and that's not just domestically, but that's given the bigger world geopolitical circumstances. The more we can be less reliant on the national grid, the better for us.
The financial implication for it was it's an absolute added bonus because obviously the cost of putting them on is a consideration. You want to make sure that you get that payback. But I was never worried about us getting a payback. I knew they would eventually pay for themselves, and obviously they're paying them back quicker than we'd kind of set out to do. You can see going online and looking how much you've generated that day from your solar panels, and the percentage over a month, over a year. It's just nice to see those numbers and think actually it's not only have we helped the world, but we've also helped our bottom line as well. So I'd say I went with the company because I felt like it was a very safe decision to make. I've made my decision because they've done the work-ins, they're like a real reliable company to work with, and they know what they're talking about. And that was proven, I think, through the whole process of putting the panels on. And I felt like we've definitely grown that partnership, so much so that obviously we're quite happy to put more solar panels on with other buildings that we've got. But absolutely would recommend the company.
On a scale of 1 to 10, I'd be happy to recommend an Eco 10 out of 10. I think the whole process from start to finish was seamless. And what you're looking for is not just the long-term benefits, but also as little short-term pain as is possible.